Hello friends, it's me Dr. Shiji. In this video, I am going to discuss about the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. These are the contents which I am going to discuss. Philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, synthesis of yoga, selfless action, Siddha Prajna and Loka Sangraha. There are three Vedantic texts called Prasthana Traya. They are Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra. Upanishads are the Suti Prasthana, the revealed text. The Bhagavad Gita is the Smriti Prasthana composed by the sages based on their understanding of the Vedas. The Brahma Sutra is the Nyaya Prasthana, the logical text that sets forth the philosophy systematically. The Bhagavad Gita is a very popular and sacred text of Hindus which is located in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. The Gita is a form of dialogue between Lord Krishna and Prince Arjuna in the Mahabharata on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. On the battlefield, Arjuna expresses his reluctance to engage in the battle against his friends and relatives. Krishna reminds Arjuna that he is a warrior whose duty is to fight and conquer his enemies in the battle. The Gita is a composition of 700 Sanskrit verses divided into 18 chapters. Each chapter is called Yoga. Yoga is the science of individual consciousness attaining communion with the ultimate truth. So, each chapter of the Bhagavad Gita deals with particular concept of yoga, revealing the path of attaining self-realization of the truth. Recognition and realization of the self is a core concern of the Gospel of Bhagavad Gita. Yogastha Kurukarmani Sangam Tekta Dhananjaya Siddhya Siddho Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. This is the dictate to perform actions by abandoning attachment, being steadfast in yoga and equanimous in success and failure. In this stanza, the term yoga has been used in the sense of the evenness of mind. Here, yoga is defined as mental tranquility or mental steadfastness in facing all pairs of opposites. We must work with a perfect tranquility or calmness devoid of results. If a true worker, abandoning attachment to the fruits of action, gains a self-forgetfulness and immune to success or failure of the activity. To worry about the result is to worry about the future, and to live in the future is to escape from the present. We must work with a perfect serenity indifferent to the results. He who acts by virtue of an inner law is on a higher level than one whose action is dictated by his whims. According to Krishna, a true yogi should work with a steady mind in all situations. The universe itself depends on action, and all movement and progress are the outcome of karma. Selflessness is the act of sacrificing one's own interests for the greatest good. Selfless work is considered as the key concept of the Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 chapters of the Gita deals with Karma Yoga, and through which individual consciousness attaining communion with the ultimate consciousness. On the battlefield, Lord Krishna reminds Arjuna about his duty. Nishkama karma means doing one's own work without any desire for its fruits. According to Lord Krishna, desire is the enemy of man. Karmane kariste ma phaleshu katajana ma karma phala hedurbhur mate sankostva karmani. This sloka is one of the most important slokas in the Bhagavad Gita, which deals with the concept of Nishkama karma. Krishna says, to do work is your duty, karma is your unending authority. Without any desire, do your work, and do not sit forever without doing any work. This sloka means that the right way is not only to work, but also without ever desiring its fruits. Renunciation means absence of desires. So long as action is based on false premises, it binds the individual soul. The Bhagavad Gita advocates detachment from desires and not cessation from work. It is karma phala tyaga and not karma tyaga. Chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita establishes the fact that performing one's prescribed duty is obligatory for everyone. Lord Krishna categorically and comprehensively explains how it is the duty of each and every member of society to carry out their functions and responsibilities of their respective stage of life according to the rules and regulations of the society in which one lives. Siddha Prajna. In the Gita, Lord Krishna teaches Arjuna that one must do one's duty without any motive and attachment for attaining highest bliss and freedom, because attachment is the cause of misery. The perfect man has to work for the benefit of humanity in the spirit of perfect detachment, disinterest, selflessness, with no desire to reap the fruit, who is called a Siddhaprajna. He is free from desire, anger, greed, delusion, arrogance, jealousy, and competitiveness. To him, a piece of coal, a stone, and gold are the same. He considers well wishers, friends, neutrals, mediators, the hateful, the relatives, the saints, and the sinners all in the same manner. प्रजाहादि यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मन्येव आत्मना तुष्टा सिद्धप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. In this sloka, Lord Krishna describes to Arjuna that when a man abandons away all the desires of his mind and when his spirit is content in itself, then he is called stable in intelligence. In this verse, the Bhagavad Gita explains the mental condition of a perfect person or perfect man, Siddhaprajna. He is considered as a man of steady wisdom who has completely abandoned all selfish desires from his mind. The perfect one is blissful in one's own experience of the self. A perfect man is defined not only as one who has no desires, but also as one who positively enjoys the bliss of the self. Everyone must work in the universe. Only those who are perfectly satisfied with the self, whose desires do not go beyond the self, whose mind never strays out of the self, to whom the self is all in all, only those do not work. The rest must work. In the chapter 3, Lord Krishna explains about the importance of sacrifice. According to Krishna, action is better than inaction. All work is to be done in a spirit of sacrifice for the sake of the divine. The Bhagavad Gita points out that to do such actions without entertaining any hope of reward has no binding power. Sacrifice itself is interpreted in a larger sense. We have to sacrifice the lower mind to the higher. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon with a new topic. Please subscribe my channel, Philo Thoughts. Thank you. Thank you so much.